Welcome to the Team Engagement Podcast, where leaders of teams share their insights. We discuss 6 questions in 9 minutes because leaders know how to be concise. We'll go ahead and get started with today's guest. Our first question, in a few sentences, tell us who you are and what you do.
Yeah, my name is Kayla Lee. I am a life coach and consultant for creatives and technologists. So that's basically what I do. I help people just live their best lives and really get started on meaningful projects and actually complete them too.
That's the important part, is not just starting, but completing. I think that's great.
Exactly.
Question number 2, what's the best thing about working with a team?
The best thing about working with the team is really understanding when people collectively come together. For me, I kind of think about that as an organism. And so when teams come together, there's a whole nother level of just creativity. And so that a person couldn't have by themselves. And so to me, the team collective, what you can really pull from is extremely powerful and amazing. It's actually amazing for the team members, but also what the type of things that they could do as far as productivity, creativity, innovation, looking at projects in a very different way. So really having a collective, being able to withdraw really and invest collectively.
Those are great comments. Yeah, I really like how, I completely agree, pulling out the innovation and then that collaboration, problem solving. I love those concepts.
Mm-hmm.
Question number 3, I hear from other leaders of teams that it can be a challenge to get team members engaged. Tell us your thoughts.
I definitely find that it happens to be the case. Usually the way that I approach it is to really understand like what's really holding someone back or a team back from engagement. And so really when you take a time to pause, I actually find sometimes that people that are the least, like, they don't adopt it right away. When you're able to like talk them through it, they're actually really powerful, because it wasn't like I just accept this. It's really understanding like why this has value, why this has merit. And so having that deep understanding to me actually propels them forward.
Well, that's a great comment. I really like how you help people identify those barriers and those things that are getting in the way of progress. That's a great way to look at teams as well. I've heard that, you're obviously a life coach, but I've heard that for individuals. But as stupid as this may sound, I've never thought about what were the teams doing? What's getting in their way? So that's a great comment. Question number 4, what other piece of advice do you have for leaders of teams?
One of the things for me, I feel like a lot of times leaders of teams really don't understand the value and the potential of their team. And so actually giving team members the opportunity to work outside projects that they might not normally do. And I actually think with that, they're able to see talents that team members have. And I've seen this in my own work, but just really understanding, like giving teams different projects to work on. So I think that's one piece. Another piece is, as a leader, really being able to facilitate leadership within your team. So when I work with a team, I see myself as a co-collaborator. And my main thing as a leader of a team is really to facilitate their own leadership collectively and individually.
Those are great comments. I really like everything that you shared, obviously, but the notion of allowing people to have opportunities to lead within the team, I think that's really important. So I love those comments. Question number 5, what other successful leaders of teams, such as yourself, would you like to recognize that have had a positive influence in your life?
There are probably 2 that really stand out in my mind. One is Dr. Josephine Kim. So originally, before I became a life coach, I was really interested in counseling. And so I actually took 2 classes with her while I was at the Harvard Graduate School of Education. One was in multicultural counseling, and the other one was in group counseling. And it was there that in her classroom, and also when I had an internship as a group counselor, that I really understood the power of a team, like versus individually working with one person versus working with the collective. So she is definitely one person I'd like to recognize. Another person I'd like to recognize is Chris Doe. He works with like creatives and businesses. And so one of the ways I constantly see him collaborating and putting out really helpful content for people. So to me, that's being a team player, right? Like this idea that I have knowledge and I'm going to share it, and also invite people to share their knowledge as well.
Thank you for recognizing both of those individuals. I always enjoy hearing from the guests that are on the show here about what, or who I should say, has influenced them and helped them move along their paths. Thank you for recognizing them. Well, Kayla, last question. Tell us about your first job.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. It's just like my first, would you like to know about my first official job or my first unofficial job?
Either one, whichever one you feel like is, I don't know, most exciting or that you learn most from. Either one is fine.
Yeah, my first job, let's go with my first official job. My first job was actually as a result, I received a small scholarship in high school through an organization called Junior Achievement. And the organization that actually gave me the scholarship, they invited me to their campus. And so it was Citigroup. And through it, they're like, hey, you should apply for a role, and I ended up doing it. And so I ended up working with the CEO and his administrative assistant. So I did that job along with also working as a receptionist. And so it was really fun to kind of have, I think, two jobs at one time. So you're kind of, working with the administrative, I was working with administrative assistant, and then also working in reception where people that were coming through the door, getting to say, hello to them. And also we had police officers working there that would come through. So that was really great to get to, build relationships with police officers and just to see, hey, this is a human being, and so that was fun.
We forget that sometimes that they're human beings, but
Mm-hmm.
well, such great stories because you got to see the kind of the client facing part of it as well as kind of the behind the scenes. And so
Exactly.
what a great first job. Kayla, thank you so much for being on the podcast today. How can people find you?
Yeah, the best way to find me is really on LinkedIn. I'm pretty active there, and also as well as on my website, which is maranconsulting.com. And so yeah, those are the two best ways to find me.
Very good. This is Sean Richards with the Team Engagement Podcast, where leaders of teams share their insights. For more ideas, you can find us on LinkedIn by searching Blue Sky Business Consulting. Thanks for joining us. Have a great day.